Facts. Okay, so today's episode is what is nationalism? Okay, so let's start off with the dictionary definition. Nationalism is thinking that your country's the best country. That's it. Now that we have the definition, I'll see y'all tomorrow or no, I'm joking. But let's look. Okay, let's look more at American nationalism. So, from my understanding, there's two segments of American nationalism. So, there's American nationalism as the ideas that constitute America. And then there's also American nationalism as kind of a very similar nationalism that exists in the other side of the world. And then there's a kind of moderate nationalism that we're going to get into later. But I want to cover these two first. So first here I put the Tea Party Patriots because, they're a great organization, by the way. I think that they best kind of represent this. So the ideas nationalism is basically the idea that America's ideas, the fundamental founding principles of America, that being classical liberalism, limited government, free markets, individual people making their own decisions for their own lives. And then we have the more, integralist, Catholic, paternalist. It doesn't have to be Catholic. It's very commonly Catholic. It's very paternalistic view of America as kind of just another place on, like, they're always similar to, like, the left in the way that they're like, well, America's just another place on a map. No, but they think of America as just, we're just like every other country. America, in their view, was not fundamentally founded as a revolutionary idea of individual rights. In their view, America was kind of just, it was founded like all the other countries and nations, and it's just a bunch of people. And the things that represent America are not its values, are not, American spirit of free markets, of determination, of setting out your own course for your life. In their view, America's kind of just, it's another place. It's very determined by, faith. And because of that, they're much more common to get into a lot of very bad ideas, like monarchy, for example. Now I'm going to cover moderate nationalism. So moderate nationalism is a segment of the ideas nationalism that kind of doesn't really say the ideas as strongly. So it does take some other elements of just general nationalism, a lot of protectionism in this, like Donald Trump. And they also tend to favor a more interventionist foreign policy. And they also be very isolationist, like J.D. Vance isolationist. There could also be more like Donald Trump or Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan was more on the idiot side. But, more interventionist. They don't have to be interventionist. I've said this before, but libertarianism is fundamentally not defined by interventionism. I know a lot of libertarians are getting very upset at me for saying that. Of course, I'm a dirty statist. But so like, for example, a more moderate nationalism, ideas nationalism, that's a part of it. Maybe we go and intervene to protect our interests abroad. But that was my just my thoughts on the topic. Please, if you have anything else you'd like to say, add to the discussion, please, in the comment section below.